Welcome to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. I am back again with another late post game. We are the Lakers to address the media lost tonight. Really can't really express how good the Mavericks were down the stretch. You know, they were doubling Luca, trapping Luca, but he was finding ways to get other people involved. You know, we had saw big games from um, Dwight Powell. You know, the team just really just came together and got the thing done. They did move into sixth place, so that makes them out of that play-in situation. So the Lakers, they just got to do a lot of searching tonight, trying to see exactly what happened this game. Hopefully, we get LeBron back next week. But again, this is going to be a tough loss for the Lakers. They lost two back-to-back games in Dallas, and it kind of really hurt their chances in the standings right now. But but hopefully we get LeBron back next week, and we can get a little bit more healthier. The things I seen from AD, but down the look rusty. I think he played too much. He did tweak something, but I'm not really sure exactly how that impacted him going forward. Hopefully, I'm able to get a question in, kind of see exactly what happened on that play. Also, see how he felt about tweaking the injury. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious, and we'll see him back on Monday in Orlando. But I'm gonna take y'all back to the live post game, and then we'll follow up right after they wrap up questions. So we're gonna go ahead and head to Dallas and listen to some of the questions from the media. And we're waiting still. They still haven't came to the podium yet. And once we do get someone on, then we'll be able to see exactly what's going on as far as the games and things like that. Esteban, what's going on, man? Hopefully, we get LeBron back next week. This never would have happened if we had LeBron on the floor. Let's look at a few game stats from tonight's game. Pull up a few stats. Great win tonight for the Dallas Mavericks team. They really battled back. Really seen a lot of bright spots with this team. I've been able to see this team a lot lately, more so than I've seen any Lakers game this year, just because I've been covering them as well. Even though, despite that, Luca didn't have a really breakout game as far as scoring wise, they really had other production from other key players. Just
Allie, can you see us?
I sure can. He just came up. Hold on one
yeah,
quick
Coach
moment. Let me get you recording. Okay. Let's start off with Mike Trudell, please.
Frank, what did you see in the second half, especially on the offensive end?
Yeah, just too perimeter oriented. We didn't attack the rim, put enough pressure on the rim enough throughout the half, as we were talking about in our timeouts. And they make it difficult. They put 5 in the paint, try to take that away, make you beat them over the top. And we got some clean looks out there, but just shot the ball horrifically. 0 for 10 in the fourth quarter and 4 for 24 overall. And you have to take what the defense gives you, but we didn't put enough pressure on the rim.
Frank, what's the balance with getting AD back and integrated and, trying to get him a lot of shots and then having it be within the flow of the offense with continuity? How do you guys deal with that challenge, and how do you think that played out tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be a work in progress. He's playing with a new teammate and, trying to get his legs under him, so, it's going to be a little disjointed at times. Hopefully it doesn't cost us, too many games. I think there was some good sequences tonight, but obviously not good enough overall.
And you hit on this before the game, but it's that same question with continuity, Frank, versus trying to get guys, just keep them on the court, get some reps before the postseason comes. How do you kind of walk that line now as you move forward for the final 12 games?
Yeah, we're competing to win. We believe in all of our guys, and there is a theme to make sure all of our guys are staying sharp and in rhythm. As we get into the playoffs and while we're competing to win games. We need to win this game tonight. We fell short.
Okay, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Frank, in the second half, it seemed like Dwight Powell really came alive. Was there some sort of flaw in the defense that kind of allowed him to get to the rim so much, or was it just sort of how you guys were guarding Luka?
Yeah, it was how we were guarding Luka. We double teamed him the whole night. We had the mindset to, make other guys beat us, and we have coverages in place, but we were late, not tough enough with those rotations, and Powell had a great night.
Okay, Dave Mcmenamin, please.
Frank, AD goes 5 for 19, but he plays 12 more minutes tonight. Outside of just the numbers of the shooting, obviously those aren't what we're used to seeing from him. Were there things that you liked, and what do you think would be the next step as you continue this road trip for him?
Yeah, he's got to use these games to play his way into shape. I thought he played well, didn't shoot well, but that's going to come. That's to be expected to have a little rust in your first few games back. This is just the situation that we're in right now.
Can you expand on the 28 minutes? Could that continue to increase? Saying if he doesn't experience soreness, is that the plan?
Yeah, we're hopeful. We'll see how he responds overnight, and the medical team gives me the recommendation. They're counting not just total minutes, but how many stoppages there are while he's in there. So there is some flexibility there, and hopefully that continues to go up.
Okay, Bill Orm, please.
Hey, Frank. Should Trez's DNP be seen as a sign of things to come or a new reality for him, or was that more matchup specific or something specific to tonight?
Keeping all three centers sharp. You got two a back-to-back situation with Dallas, and giving each guy a look and see how those guys look in this matchup. But like I said, we believe in all three centers, and we need to keep all three centers sharp. That's all.
Okay, Dan Wilkie, please.
Frank, was that something where you knew going into the game that this was going to be a night so you could talk to Montrez and did that conversation go over okay?
Yeah, he was great. He's the big picture and what we're trying to get accomplished, and he was great with it. He understood.
Okay, we'll just do a few more here. Frank, Jovan, please.
Hey, Frank. Ben had 20 points tonight, 6 threes, and 4 in the first quarter. What kind of boost did he give you guys early on, and what did you just see of him stepping in as a starter?
Yeah, filled in for KCP admirably, competed on both sides of the ball, and when a guy's shooting the ball that well from the perimeter, it should open things up. Didn't enough for us. Obviously, we didn't get to the basket enough in the second half, but definitely Ben gave us a good lift, especially at the start of the game.
Okay, Davide, please.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious about the Davis-Drummond pairing. Obviously, it's just second game for them together, but what are you seeing from them? You said it's...
Yeah, we have great size, and should be able to protect the paint and have great perimeter versatility defensively. And when AD gets his legs under him, we think that's going to be a dynamic duo.
Okay, and last question, Corey Harrison, please.
Hey, Coach.
Hi, Corey.
So what was the breakdown when the guys would trap Luka, but he picked the team apart with his passing and getting others involved and things like that? What was the breakdown with that?
Yeah, we just were late with the rotations. They did some creative things with cutting and spacing. And when we did make the rotation, we didn't make the stop. I mean, it's one thing to be there, and you got to make a play when you're there. And as you saw with Powell going 11 for 12, we didn't do a good enough job when we rotated of getting stops in those situations.
All right. Thanks so much, Frank.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting on the next player to come in. So hopefully we can see exactly who's going to be up next. Shout out to Esteban. What's going on, man? Glad you came in to see the stream. Waiting on the next person to come up. So hopefully we'll be able to get a 80 question in.
Good evening, Mark. Hello. We are going to start off with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Mark, just wanted to see what you thought the differences were between the first half and the second half, and the way you guys executed on both ends.
First half, I think that we were attacking after getting stops. Second half, we didn't get as many stops. So when you take the ball at the net, it allows their defense to get set a little better. You have to execute your actions and be a little more physical to fight for those spots. We didn't get to the paint at all in the second half. We didn't make their defense collapse over help, and the ball didn't move as well because of that. They did a good job. They did a good job adjusting. Daring us to shoot on those pick and rolls, and we got to do a better job of screening and making those guards, get to the paint, and as Big's rolling, creating second side help. And yeah.
Frank said that he wants to make sure to be able to use all three centers, so Drummond and Harrell and yourself. And tonight, obviously, you played. Montrez didn't. Mark, how has that been communicated, and how do you think you guys just play through that and find a rhythm?
It's not an ideal situation for anybody. I'm sure that I've just been in that situation and not played for a few games, and nobody likes that. But it's whatever the coach wants us to do, and we're going to try to execute and do the best possible and stay ready and work. The days that you don't have a game or you don't not planning to play, but it's not ideal. As a player, you always like to know, the consistency of when you're going to play, how you're going to play. But it's a very deep team, and if coach wants to play 3 guys or 2 guys for one spot, it's gonna take a lot of buying in.
Okay, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Mark, sort of touching on that, how much advance notice do you have when you're going to play in a game? Like, did you go into the series knowing you might play in the second game, and do you get the sense that your appearances will be matchup based or just every couple games, or do you know?
You guys asking the wrong guy. It's coach's decision. It's coach's call. He can tell you right before the game like it happened. You never know. You as a player, you try to stay ready all the time. Kind of do the same things that you do and prepare yourself if you're going to play a lot. But sometimes it doesn't go that way. So don't ask me. I just work here.
Okay, Dan Wecky, please.
Mark, when you guys double team Luka like that, what has to happen with the other 3 guys on the court to stop him from being able to get the ball to the center the way that he was able to do in the second half? It seemed like you guys had success with it in the first.
Yeah. Well, it's all part of starts where you pick him up. As he comes off, normally they were using the double drag to keep one guy high and creating fewer guys on the tag and kind of open up the corner or the back cut and forcing you to commit to that. So he was doing that in the second half a little bit lower and creating more space from his man. At that point, our blitz, our show, our trap, he has a little more space to reach you. He's just stretching out and going pretty much to the 45 angle. And at that point, he just, kind of reads and waits to see what's open. He's a really good player. Here in the NBA, there's more space than in Europe. So he's seen that before, obviously. He's going to see it a lot more. But in Europe, everything is tighter and hard to see. Even he mentioned it after the game that, here in the NBA, there's so much space that, those angles are easier for him to read just because the spacing and where everybody's at.
Okay, let's take the last couple questions here, Mark. Dave Mcmenamin, please.
Mark, since the Boston game, what type of treatment, if any, have you gotten on that left finger or that finger on your left hand?
There's not much to do. I think popped out and it has a small little crack in it. It takes a minute to get going, but it's okay. It can get it is what it is, and I'm just happy that the coach tried me to play, and I was able, like, once you get a couple catches and you feel like the blood flow gets going on the finger and the adrenaline gets going too, it's a lot better. The treatment, it's what it is. You do ultrasound, you try to do all the passive stuff, try to get him to move a little bit, but it's not much that there's no magic pill to that one.
And will it require anything in the off season, or is it like kind of a timing thing?
No, no, it won't require anything in the off season.
Okay.
Okay, and last question, Yvonne, please.
Hey, Mark. You've played a majority of your minutes this season with the starting group. So where were you at rhythm-wise with the second unit? Because it did feel like you guys started to kind of click and have some synergy out there.
Just play basketball, move the ball, communicate, help each other, no matter what. Don't get stagnant. In the second unit, you have to play at a faster pace, and you might not have as much talent or targets on the floor, and everyone must touch the basketball at all times. That makes it fun. That makes the ball moving. That makes your defense work a little bit better. That's what you want to do with a unit like that. Obviously, when you play with the starters, it's different. They're more for spacing and kind of allowing your horses to have more space to do their thing. But on the second unit, it's about helping each other, communicating, making things easier for them, and creating those angles.
All right, thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Great question. So we got Cool's up now.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey.
All right. Let me get started here. We are going to start off with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Cruz, just wanted to see what stuck out to you the most as you guys try and integrate AD into the starting lineup, and if it affects the way that you play offense, defense with Drummond, all that. What's your summary so far?
Just another adjustment that we have to make, this season. Just another one, really. Playing with him is much different than not having him on the court. Something that we got to figure out offensively. Defensively, I think we'll be fine. AD is such a great communicator and cleans up a lot of things on that end. But offensively, we got to figure some more things out. We only scored 93 points with him in the lineup, and that can never happen. So, that's just the biggest thing right now for us. Just adjusting to playing with him once again.
In the second half, did you notice anything, Kuz, during those lulls offensively about why you guys were struggling to score in spots?
I think one collectively for a little junctions of the game, we just didn't hit shots. I think we got the shots that we wanted, and some of them went in and out, some of them just didn't go in. And this league is a miss or make league at the end of the day. But I think our problems were more so. From a defensive standpoint.
Oh, sorry, Kyle. We'll go with Kyle Goon next, please.
Hey, Kuz. Obviously, even though AD was a little rusty and shooting the ball, he was taking shots at the end of the game, and he's been talking to us about how a lot of you guys have encouraged him to shoot in his minutes, which are obviously limited still. Is it, on one hand, more important to get him sort of those clutch reps and at least get a rhythm for shooting the ball than maybe the result of one night's game?
I think we just got to get him up to speed in a whole. I think he's been out for 2 months. So I think that obviously there's going to be some rust, and there's going to be some with us all patience, and at the end of the day, it's Anthony Davis. He'll find his rhythm sooner than later, and I think that tonight he looked a little bit more like himself, but still there's rust. Anytime we don't play, and this is the first time he's getting action, 5-on-5 or just really contacting those type of months. So we'll be all right though.
Okay, Dan Wyke, please.
Who's does seeding matter to this team? Is that something that is on your radar? Obviously, these 2 losses, Dallas is now a game and a half back. Is that something you guys are concerned about at all?
No, I think seeding is matters for a lot of other teams in the league. I don't think it matters too much for us. Obviously we're declining, and we got to just figure it out. Obviously we're getting Parks back with, I don't know how many games we got, 11, 12 games left, but we just got to keep pushing, keep figuring it out, get AD's legs under him, get wins. So.
Up on that, Kyle, sorry to follow up on that really quickly. Is the confidence just from what you guys went through last year and sort of the idea that, you are getting these 2 big pieces back, and that was such a big part of the reason for the last month? Is that why seeding doesn't matter?
I mean, of course. We haven't had our 2 best players in, 2 players that, this team is built around. So, when you add those guys to the mix, and, we can all, go back to our, program role, I think we'll be all right. As you see in the first half of the season, what we did to teams, and we'll get back there. We just got to get healthy. That's the most important thing.
All right, we have time for one more. We'll go with please.
Because you guys addressed the depth of your team in the offseason, brought in some new pieces because the bench numbers weren't all that great last year. And with that, at one point, Talon took West minutes. At one point, Andre took Mark's minutes. Tonight, Mark took Trez's minutes. How much is that on the individual player to kind of accept that and they within the group, and how much does the group have to kind of like wrap their arms like around a guy like Trez tonight and keep him connected even though they're not getting minutes?
I mean, it sucks at the end of the day. We're all competitors and we all want to be out on the court for 48 minutes. That's just how you are if you are a competitor. If you don't want to, then I would never want a player on my team like that. So I think that, it's all about sacrifice. That's something that I really learned about last year. I think something that I struggled with last year and, was hard on myself and down, a little bit, but I had great teammates that, stuck with me and, I figured it out. So, now's not the time to, be harping on yourself. And if you don't play, you don't play. Just cheer on your teammate. We're trying to win championships right now. And that's the window that we're in. And it's at all costs. If you don't play, then you don't play.
All right. Thanks so much, Kyle.
Yeah.
All set.
While we wait, I want to kind of go over the Dallas Mavericks and what they was able to do tonight. First, I want us to talk about Luka. He played 38 minutes tonight, 6 of 15, 40% from the field. Turned the ball over more than any player on the floor, Lakers or Mavericks. He had 6 turnovers. They were trapping Luka, doubling Luka. But even though they were able to get the ball out of his hands, he was getting the ball into the hands of other players that was able to do damage, particularly Dwight Powell. He had a monster night tonight. He played 28 minutes, 11 to 12. He only missed one shot tonight. He had 25 points. Also, Maxi Kleber came back and provided a spark. He had missed the last game, but he was able to come in and provide valuable minutes while he was on the floor. Dorian Finney-Smith finished with 21 points, 32 minutes. Overall, they just got good production from the other guys. And whenever you see your best player struggling, like Luka did, he only had 18 points, which is really below the standard of his consistent play. He's easily a 30 35 point per game player. But this game, they were able to get the ball out of his hands. The Lakers are rated number 1 defensive efficiency in the league. And they focused so much on Luka that they lost containment on the other players. I mean, they was getting picked apart, and Luka was picking up those double teams pretty quick. You know, during the time that he played in the Euro League, he was able to see a lot more depth when it came to, you know, them closing in on him and things like that. So he's very good about picking it up, and he's a willing passer. So the Lakers really fell victim to this because they never got out of it. I feel like they just should have, you know, played more, you know, man to man, not really worried about doing a double team, because with them doubling 2, you have to figure out what the other 3 guys are doing, and somebody's always going to be left open. They were left vulnerable in the post, which it just really hurt them down the stretch. Then you go to the Lakers side. The big bright spot that they had the first quarter was Ben Mclemore. He had 20 points the first time in the starting rotation. He played 29 minutes, 7 of 12 from the field, 6 of 10. That'll work. I really don't know a clear-cut explanation of why Montrezl Harrell was not in this game, but from what I heard from Coach Vogel on this post-game interview question, someone had brought up the question about that, and the answer that I got, the understanding that I have, is that they have 3 big men. They have Montrez, they have Andre Drummond, and they have Marc Gasol. And they want to be able to keep this rotation fresh and be able to throw different looks out there, kind of similar to what they did with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard last year, which some games you have Montrez play or you will have Marc play. But make no mistake, Andre Drummond is the starter. And that's the versatility of this team. Once healthy, once they're full strength, they'll be able to have different looks for every different team. They're very versatile, very deep. So you'll have more, you know, depth when it comes to playing small, more depth when it comes to playing big. When they have, you know, players like Nikola Jokic, they'll be able to, you know, play with him a lot more better. When he'll match up better with Andre Drummond if we play Jokic. Like tonight, they were able to play, you know, the Andre Drummond. They were able to play with AD. They were able to put Marc Gasol in. I still would have liked them to have Montrezl Harrell to play, which, you know, it's unfortunate that he did not play. But he provided a great spark last game, and not having KCP this game, he had a monster game last game. That was another thing that they were missing tonight too as well. AD did play tonight, but he played 28 minutes tonight, which he only finished with 17 points, which he's getting more comfortable in the offense. He was 5 of 19, which is just not 80 standard. He took 6 threes, missed all 6. I mean, he's still really trying to work his way into this offense. 17 points in a game like this, you would like to see him, you know, more involved with the offense, more efficient with the basketball, but he just didn't get it going. I mean, the 5 of 19, that was only 26% from the field, which is just abysmal, you know, when it comes to what AD does represent, you know, as a basketball player. He just wasn't efficient at all. We saw that he missed the, you know, 1 free throw out of 8, which is, pretty good. It was 87%. So, you know, he was efficient from the free throw line. Defensively, he's still really trying to get his legs under him. I did see him slow on some rotations and things like that. It just wasn't, what we're accustomed to seeing from a guy like AD. Kyle Kuzma, he had scored 14 points in the 30 minutes he did play. He was 45% from the field, 4 of 9 from 3, which is good for 44% as well. Drummond, he played, almost 30 minutes, but he was only 3 of 5, 60%. He just didn't really get it going like we normally see him doing, but he had 12 boards. That will work. I like how dominant he is on the glass, on the offensive and the defensive glass. He's, really good when it comes to, grabbing those boards and things like that. If we can keep him around 12 to 15 boards a game, that'll work, because once LeBron does come back, you get AD out there, they're going to be definitely unstoppable because, missed shots, Drummond is eating the glass. Dennis Schroeder kind of shrank this game as well. Really didn't see a whole lot from him. He played 36 minutes, but he, kind of declined from, in conjunction with the last game that they did play. Would like to see him, be a little bit more involved in this game, but he just didn't get it going. Not having Montrez this game, not having KCP this game, and not having a great production from other guys stepping up. The fourth quarter, they just fell apart. 108 to 93. That's the outcome. The Mavericks did turn the ball over a lot more than the Lakers did. And the Lakers only turned the ball over 9 times, which is good. But, I just feel like they was more vulnerable whenever they did double Luka, and they was focusing on Luka a little bit too much. And he was just able to just get other guys involved, like I was saying before. Just having that great production overall from everybody else. I mean, the Mavericks really impressed tonight. Give them credit. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat who was in front of them. They're just a game and a half behind the Lakers. They're completely out of that play-in situation. If they can consistently keep on going, they're going to be a tough out for anybody once the playoffs do get rolling in. They can get Porzingis healthy. I think that this team will be able to get an extra round. I think that they'll be able to get at least to the second round of the playoffs. After that, I'm not really sure depth-wise what they can do as far as how the team is constructed and things like that. And I would like to see them play the Clippers again, this Maverick team, with a healthy Porzingis, and see exactly how they match up with them, because the Clippers were the team that eliminated them in the first round. I think if Porzingis was healthy, he would be able to extend their streak when they played in the bubble last year. But I would like to see them play again just to see how they would look with Porzingis healthy, with the addition of Nico Melli, with the addition of JJ Redick and things like that, and how they're playing. They did have the addition of Josh Richardson as well. I don't know how that's going to look, because with Seth Curry last year, they were able to shoot the 3-ball a little bit better than they are this year. But they do have JJ, who's a 3-point marksman. I would love to see exactly how he would look with this team in the postseason as well. I've always liked JJ Redick. I just like how he's able to provide that veteran presence on the floor. He understands high-stakes basketball great. I think that he's going to be good for them as far as having that veteran presence. Hopefully, like I said before, they're able to get to the second round of the playoffs at least, because they're just too talented, just with the 2 big names that they have with Luka and Kristaps, and then the other guys that are around them. They got great depth. One of the players that I do like that really didn't show too much this game was Jalen Brunson. This wasn't really a Jalen Brunson game. This was just, guys just stepping up. But with Jalen Brunson, what he brings, the way he stretches the floor, the way he's able to, get in the paint and do what he can do, very aggressive guard. I like how he plays. If anybody really followed Jalen Brunson in college, he was, really tough. He was a really great college player, then he transitioned to the NBA, coming off the bench. He never really came off the bench in college or anything like that. He was the star on his team, every team that he's ever played on. But I think he's really starting to come into his own in the NBA. He's one of my favorite players on this Mavericks team, and he's very enjoyable to watch. We're still waiting. If you're just now tuning in, we're covering the Lakers post-game 108-93 loss to the Dallas Mavericks. This is the second loss that they suffered behind this Mavericks team. Just hate to see how the game kind of turned out. You know, it started off really good. The Lakers had great momentum, had great production. Loved the way Ben Mclemore was shooting the ball. I think they might have found something with Ben in the rotation because he was able to step up for KCP. Not sure. I don't know if he would be, you know, good to start consistently, but you know, the 30 minutes that he did play, he was 7-12 from the field. You know, that'll work. That would definitely work. You know, he was shooting the 3-ball very well. He was 6 of 10 there. You know, I think that will work. Maybe they may have found something. May have found something with that, but they just didn't get enough from everybody else. You know, I saw, you know, a lot of carelessness. I saw a lot of, you know, it really just boils down just the lack of attention to detail. You know, not really paying attention to, you know, rotations and things like that, coming out of sets that just wasn't working. You know, you saw Luka really just taking this team and just pulling them apart with his passing ability, his court vision, and things like that. You know, Luka's a great player. You know, make no mistake about it. And we just should have been able to adjust. We just failed to make adjustments where the adjustments needed to be made and fell victim. You know, we do have Orlando on Monday night, and we'll see if we can bounce back after that. But this overall is a stinger. It's a tough loss. Hopefully they're able to figure it out. You know, we got LeBron coming back, you know, very soon. Can't wait for that. You know, just get healthier. You know, we know once this team actually gets healthy, I don't really see a team matching up and beating them 7 games straight. I mean, yeah, in a 7-game series, I don't see them beating them 4 games in 7 games. So we'll see exactly how it shapes up. But we're kind of waiting to see who's going to be next. I'm hoping that we're able to ask AD some questions. I do have a question prepared for AD, but we'll see if we'll be able to get that question answered soon. If anyone has any questions in the comments, I'm willing to answer any questions in the comments, or if you have any questions for a player, I might pick your question to be able to ask that question during the media post game. So look like we got 6 people in the stream currently right now, and got some questions. Let me see what question that we do have. I agree. I think that with Drummond, he plays certain games, you know, really well. Like you'll see him, he would be more involved in the offense. Defensively, he's, you know, a problem. You know, he grabs rebounds. You know, this is just in reference to the question in the chat. I really think that, you know, we should have really gave Montrez the nod tonight just because he has that great energy. You know, I said it last game, like he was really good. And I wanted him to, you know, really be able to extend that into this game. But unfortunately, he was a DNP. I don't understand exactly why he didn't play tonight. He wasn't injured or anything like that. You know, it's just he was just inactive. And I don't understand exactly that thought process behind that. Coach Vogel did provide, you know, very little context behind that. They asked the question about it, but I didn't really understand it still, you know, just based off of how the game shaped up. We definitely could have benefited from him being on the floor. Yeah, Drummond, streaky. I did see, a couple games before where he was dominant, and then we see games like this where he doesn't really show up in the stat sheet. But where his value is on the glass. Like, that's where the Lakers were really, really needing someone that was just a glass eater. And he provides that. He claws up the lane. One of the biggest things that I do see is that he doesn't do anything outside of that post or that painted area. He can't shoot threes or anything like that. He won't be able to stretch the defense out or anything like that. But he claws up the paint. So that means it's really hard for people to, get in the lanes and things like that, which will be a problem once LeBron does get back, because Drummond pretty much just babysits that paint. And those lanes need to be open for LeBron when he drives in, or if he needs to operate in there. Drummond is just clogging up that painted area. And that's going to be an issue, which I hope that they have that figured out, because, Drummond is just basically a statue down there, which is, it can be good, it can be bad, but we definitely going to need those lanes open up so the offense will flow instead of it being stagnant. We're not sure who's going to be up on the post game next, but we're waiting. Hopefully AD is going to be up next to be able to address the media. I do have a prepared question for AD if we're able to get that answered. It's pretty much involving more so, how did he feel in the offense? What did he feel about his impact of, Andre Drummond being able to primarily play the 5, helping him out defensively and things like that? Because we all know that AD naturally likes to play the 4, but we always want him to play the 5 just because it's really difficult for guys to match up with AD because he has a unique skill set. He's faster than your traditional big. He's able to, stretch the floor. So he'll pull your big out to that 3-point line and make you guard it. And he's a knockdown 3-point shooter. Me personally, I like AD back to the basket to be able to operate on the blocks. He's good when it comes to that. He's very streaky when it comes to 3-point shooting. And sometimes he'll fall in love with it. He doesn't have it going yet. But we'll definitely see exactly how he looks these next couple games if they allow him to play, because he did look like he tweaked something this game. And I'm not sure what his status is when it comes to that, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to ask him about that tonight, because he did tweak something, and I was really concerned about him coming back into this game. They really didn't even need him to come back just because of how the game was going. He wasn't really impactful down the stretch. I did see a couple, costly turnovers, while he was on the floor. He turned the ball over that one time that I seen him in the fourth quarter, and it was just pivotal to the reason why they lost, because how the game was kind of going. He just threw the ball right into the Mavericks' chest. That fourth quarter, going back into that play, it was the only turnover that he had, but it was very, very costly at the time because they was trying to claw back into this game, and then the turnover happened, and the game just got busted wide open. Luka hit the 3 down on the other end, and they just got rolling. Just really couldn't get back into it. You have Marquise Morris. He put in 19 minutes, but very inefficient. 2-11 from the field. That was just 18%. He only scored 2 points. What was it? 4 points, I'm sorry. Had 4 points this game, and it just wasn't productive. Had Wes Matthews. He only played a little over 6 minutes. He didn't really score the basketball a lot. It just really just didn't really get a lot of production. A lot of people played over 20-something minutes. You had Alex Caruso that played 23 minutes. He 1 of 3 from the field, 33%. He had 7 points. It's not going to work. Taylor Horton Tucker, 2 of 4, which is 50%, but it was only scored 6 points. That's not going to work. It just really didn't get a whole lot of production. You know, with the Mavericks on the other end, you had 3 players that scored in double figures. Then you had production from other guys. You had 21 from Dorian Finney-Smith. Even though Maxi Kleber had played 30 minutes, his 9 points was impactful. Just he scored when he needed to be scored. He hit big 3-point shot, you know, that broke the game open. They got confident. Dwight Powell was the impact player. Like, I've never seen him play like this before. I mean, I've been covering this team for a little bit this season, you know, being able to see them play up close in person. But I'm really impressed with how Dwight Powell played tonight. He only missed 1 shot, scorching 91% from the field. That'll work. If you can get production like that from Dwight Powell, which you probably not, just because he doesn't play a lot. The only reason why he was playing the way he played tonight, an opportunity presented itself because Kristaps Porzingis didn't play tonight. So they put Powell in the starting rotation, and Luka got doubled. So they kept on using that pick and roll, being able to dump the ball in the post. Luka passed out of it quick. Like, he was able to see what they were doing in the second half and adjust, because the first half they were smothering him. They knocked him around just like they normally do. And that's what you normally have to do. You get Luka frustrated, get into his head, get into his psyche, take away shots and things like that. He gets very frustrated. But he was able to poise himself. He looked more so like an NBA vet, and he was able to pick them apart. They were collapsing on him. They were trapping him, and he was able to get other guys involved. He was able to get the ball in hot players' hands. Dwight Powell just killed us. I just kept seeing him get into the post area, doing the pick and roll, and it was just working to perfection. It was beautiful basketball. It was just flowing, and the Lakers could not stop him. You know, I can just see it from afar, just how they were not being able to pick this up. I mean, they was too focused on Luka. It was like, okay, we'll let the other guys beat us, but Luka is not going to get off. And he was still able to score 18 points, but he was very inefficient with the 18 points. He's 6 of 15 from the field. That's just not efficient. Now, he's already an inefficient shooter. Before anybody tries to kill me for this, Luka is very inefficient, you know, as far as shooting the basketball. He's a superstar. He's categorized as a superstar just because he's able to put points on the board and his impact on his team. But if you go back and you actually look at the stats and you actually look at how efficient he is shooting the basketball, it's just not that efficient. He can knock down shots, things like that, but he shot 6 threes and he only made 2 of them. So that means that was good for 33%. This is a superstar player, and he's very impactful. He's a great player, but when you break down his shooting and things like that, he is not a great shooter. But he scored 18 points and he was able to, you know, secure the victory by getting the others involved. It was just great coaching. They just got out coached at the end of the day. We're still waiting on the next person to come up. That's another great question, you know, as far as their shooting and things like that. Now, Mclemore, to begin the game, he was very efficient with the basketball. He did really good. I just hate how they limit him. They did acquire him for shooting. He shot the ball well. Let's go back into looking at that question that we got from YouTube. Zaire Larkins, just going back to what Mclemore was able to do in this game. 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes. He was 7-18 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3, and he was able to provide a great impact. The time that he was on the floor. I'm sorry, he was 6 of 10 from the field when it came to 3-point shooting. He scored 20 points, but he didn't get a chance to play the whole entire game. I don't understand. They limited that, and I'm not sure why they did that. That'd be a good question to ask on the next one. I didn't get a chance to ask the coach that, but Ben was a bright spot. I was glad to see him play, but in spurts, unfortunately. AD. All right, so we're gonna
Hi,
go
AD.
back to post game.
We'll get started when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay. We're gonna start off with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Anthony, just to clarify, it looks like you got knocked on the other leg from the one that had you out in that third quarter. Is that, and you played afterwards, obviously? Just wanted to double check and see how that was.
Got kicked in the calf. That's all. Little fast for a second, but it's fine.
Gotcha. Was it the same one or the other one?
It was the left way, the other way.
Okay, that's one. Apologies, we don't need to ask about every single thing that happens for the rest of the season. So I'm trying not to do that. How did you feel physically? Second game, more minutes expanded. How did you feel?
I felt great. Like I said, the win was there. Each game, I'm starting to get my win back more and more. I felt fine physically. Was able to make a couple shots, even though I didn't shoot well from the floor. I was, some shots started to go through the rim, free throws and things like that. So every game, I'm getting my rhythm back. The tough one for sure, having the lead, going to the half, and they were getting I think a 4-point lead in the fourth at one point, but. The tough one that we let go, knowing that the Mavs are fighting to take our spot. So I'm not sure if they did tonight or not, but we gotta keep fighting. I think we got 12 games left before the playoffs, so these last 12 are gonna be crucial for us, and we gotta be able to get some wins. But this is a tough one for us, and Orlando and DC are must wins for us for sure.
And then, Eddie, just on offense, are you feeling like you're able to get to the spots that you want and the shots that are there that you typically might take and it's kind of a legs rhythm thing, or are there certain things you want to focus on as you ramp back up?
I think I'm getting to the shots. Everything's short. I think they're just a legs thing and a rhythm thing. Getting your legs back, playing game basketball. I think that comes with just continuously playing games, getting more minutes to get your game legs back. But I liked all the shots, all the threes I took, I liked. All the middies I took, I liked. The good thing about it, they all felt good. It wasn't that felt bad, came out my hand wrong. All the shots I shot felt really good. Like I said, they were all just short, which comes from the legs. So that's something that's easily fixable with just more minutes.
Dave Mcmenamin, please.
Eddie, how much is this just a necessary time that's going to occur? I mean, you hadn't played in 9 weeks. There's basically no practice time for you.
Yeah,
It'd be unlikely for everything to look right away. And how much are you just have to push back the frustration of whatever momentum that was there that seems to be lost right now?
Yeah, it's frustrating for me because I know the position we're in, and it's a rhythm thing, and not being able to play in 9 weeks, 30 games is tough. It's like you're starting over, with the guys, and just trying to find a connection with these guys again. They're trying to find a connection with me. So it's like we started from zero, which is tough, so late in the season. But it's something that we have to figure out. Like I said, with no practice time. I had one practice, so the rhythm comes from the games, and you want to be able to win those games still, But you got to try to figure it out on the fly, which we're going to have to do. So, it's my job to continue to shoot the ball, continue to try to make plays for myself and others. So I got to be ready to do that in game with very limited practice time.
Okay, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, D, I know you're talking about getting your rhythm shooting, and obviously you took a bunch of those shots late in this game to try and get back in it. Is there something to needing reps with sort of the pressure on and in those clutch situations to kind of build that sense back up?
I think just making shots in general will get me going. Just seeing the ball go through the rim. I had some good looks. They were all short. Obviously, you want to make those shots in pressure situations, but when you haven't played in a long time, that rhythm kind of throws off, gets thrown off, and the guys are looking to you to make the plays, and then you try to make the plays, but like I say, you don't really have that rhythm yet. 2 games back, so it's a tough spot that we're in, that I'm in. But there's no excuse. I still got to go out there and find ways to help us win these games.
Okay, we'll just take a couple more questions here. Dan Weike, please.
AD, chemistry was such a big factor for you guys a year ago. Obviously, injuries and stuff like that have disrupted it this year. What's it going to take to recapture some of that stuff? And are you guys just going to have to win other ways?
First is just going to take everyone getting healthy. Everyone getting healthy will definitely help our chemistry on the floor. I think our chemistry off the floor is tremendous, but on the floor we haven't had a lot of games with one another because of injury. So that's going to help just everyone getting back healthy and being available to play. And like I say, we like you said, we're going to have to find ways to win. It might not be pretty every time, but we're still a great defensive team. We're going to have to lay our hats on that until we're able to find our rhythm offensively, especially me.
Okay, looks like the button is ready for you, AD, so we'll go to Dennis. Thank you so much.
I'm going to be asking mom questions, man. We got to get out of here now. 4 questions.
All right, we'll start off our first of 4 questions with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Dennis, you had mentioned last game that you wanted to make it a priority to try and get AD involved early. Looked like you were doing so again. How are you just as a point guard trying to organize things and make sure that you guys are getting the kind of shots you want on offense?
I think in the first half, we did a great job just, getting stops and run. On the defensive end, we got, stops. And then we played with pace, and everybody was running. We got great kick aheads. Picked them apart on pick and roll as well, and we got it going. In the third quarter, felt like we didn't get the stops we wanted. We switched the coverage as well. It was working in the first half. So we gotta, like AD said, gotta find ways, to keep improving and win games right now.
Okay, we'll go on to Dave Mcmenamin, please.
Dennis, AD just told us that it kind of feels like, bless you, as a group, you all are starting from zero. What do you think? Like, there's only 12 games left, and you still are waiting on, your best player as well. Like, what is this process like right now?
We're not starting from zero. I feel like, we just got to get everybody back. I heard, Brown is close. And then, we're going to use how many games we got left to, get the chemistry right, get on the same page, even probably some games in the playoffs, and then, we're going to be fine. I think we still we can't make excuses, you know. Myself, everybody in this locker room, coaches, whoever. We can't make, you know, excuses. We just got to go out there for 48 minutes and win games. And I mean, I know injuries happens. I mean, we athletes, you know, it happens, but we got to have, you know, next man mentality until, you know, the best player in the world comes back and, you know, helps us getting dubs again and, you know, going forward to, you know, playoff time.
Okay, Dan Wyke, please.
Dennis, with this team and kind of the situation and circumstances that it's in, does seeding matter? Does you know, being the 4 or the 5 or the 6, is that any you guys should be concerned at all about right now, or is it just simply getting healthy and in rhythm?
I said that before in the last interview, so I'm not going to say nothing to that, but we still got to find ways to win. Just you know, get wins, get a rhythm as a team, and you know, when the playoff comes around, we're gonna be ready, you know, as a team, and we're gonna compete and yeah, win games.
Okay, last 2 questions. Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Dennis, it would feel remiss if I didn't ask you about the dunk you had on Melly. What was happening on that play, and did you kind of feel like maybe that could be an emotional moment that might be able to turn it around for you guys?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we had, you know, the momentum after that play. But like I said, in the second half, we wasn't, you know, we shot a lot of threes. You know, we didn't hit the paint too often, and you know, attacked the basket. So, I mean, I just went, you know, through the lane and tried to be aggressive at that point, you know, and but you know, it's on the defensive end. You know, Lucas picked us apart. I think switched the coverage during halftime, and it was tough. You know, I think that's on us, fully on us, and we got to do better in Orlando.
Okay, and last question of the evening. We're gonna go with Corey Harrison, please.
Hey, Dennis. What's the team's mindset currently? What's the focus? With the season wind down, what is the team's current mindset?
Getting W's still, you know, even with people out. I mean, AD was out, you know, he was in there the last 2 games, but before that he was out, and you know, we still fought out there, tried to get wins, and it's the same mindset. I mean, we got a few more games left until the playoffs. Everybody got, you know, gotta step it up. Starts with me, you know, AD, everyone, whoever comes in the game. I mean, everybody just got to step it up now. And we're gonna talk about it. I think when Bron comes back, you know, we're gonna have a conversation as a team, because our chemistry, like AD said, off the court is great, but on the court, you know, we just gotta turn it up some more. And like I said, we're gonna be fine, but at the meantime, we still got to get wins.
Great. Thanks so much, Dennis. Safe travel to Orlando. Thank you.
Thanks.
Everybody, have a good evening. Enjoy your Sunday.
That is going to wrap up tonight's post game with the Lakers. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We got a lot of activity from a lot of different new people in the chat. Definitely appreciate the support. We're wrapping up the Lakers post game, the 108-93 loss to the Dallas Mavericks. They do have a game on Monday against Orlando, which I'm going to be tuning in for. Hopefully we can get in some good post game questions after that one as well. You know, as you can see, the Lakers are still locked in and focused. We still haven't been able to get healthy, but we're getting ramped up. LeBron will probably be playing soon, and once LeBron does get back, once they get that continuity back, it's going to be lights out for the rest of the league. I feel like the Lakers are going to repeat as champions, but we'll see, how everything shapes up. But overall, I'm not panicking about how this team looks right now currently, because they're still trying to figure it out. Just like AD said, if you was able to hear him on the post game, they're starting over from scratch with him coming back. They're still trying to figure out how to play with him. He's still trying to figure out how to play with them. And it's going to take some time, but once they get everything together, it's going to be beautiful basketball again. LeBron's going to be back out there. And he's just that glue that just kind of puts everything together, trying to, brings everybody together, puts everything in perspective. But that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank everybody for listening to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. Again, I'm Corey. Love the energy from tonight's show, and we will definitely catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
If you love the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast,